we thought we would do a live and to announce what's going on with us and where we're going. And we're just sharing the real on why we're going, where we're going, and the kids are going to talk about how they feel about it. And they're going to be themselves. And we just launched a new YouTube channel that I'll be sharing the link to that with you guys when I update this post. And you can follow us on Facebook, Ashburn Family Chronicles. And we're just going to share, our experiences with you. So first, without further ado, I want to tell y'all where we're going. I want to ask Zayla to do it, but she's not going to be feeling that at all like that. So Zion, do you know where we're going? Do you want to tell people where we're going? No. So people were speculating. A lot of people said Africa. People thought, what did somebody else post? Oh, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica. How does Costa Rica sound to you, Zayla?
Terrible.
She. Okay, so you can already tell how she feels. And so then we decided, so initially, before I get to that, let's start with a little bit about how this started. So I've always wanted to live abroad. It's just always been a passion of mine, but my husband likes to, stay where he's planted more so than moving around like me. This dog is ridiculous. Than moving around like I do. And so I never thought it would happen. But as most of you know, I left corporate America last summer. I quit a 6-figure job to do health coaching full time. And so as a result of that, of course, had a huge, drop in income, had some savings and that sort of thing. But at the beginning of the year, I wasn't really where I needed to be, and we weren't where we needed to be financially. And so we started just hitting like real struggles with these bills. I mean, we're the typical family with children, and we have an older daughter who's 24 years old that lives on her own, praise the Lord. So anyway, it was just getting tight. And I felt personally like I didn't want to kill myself just to continue to chase this dream. And so we made a decision to put the house on the market. When was that, MJ? When did we decide to put the house on the market?
February.
Yeah, so February. So we put the house on the market in February, and our initial goal was to downsize, sell the house, and just live somewhere else nearby. But as we were listing the house and then finding out about where we could move to, we found out that we needed to do some serious credit repair, that we were not able to just buy another house down the street that was cheaper because we needed to do some credit repair first. I mean, we fell behind on the mortgage. I'm just being very honest. I told you guys, any channel, anything we put out is always going to be real. And I know there's a lot of you all watching that have some of the same struggles. And so that's why we decided that, let's look at doing something different. So we looked at our budget, and my husband said, tell them about your friend in the Philippines, MJ.
Yeah, so I have a friend that moved to the Philippines. He called me around February. That's the last time I talked to him. And he's normally like a real intense, high-strung dude. And I barely recognized his voice when he called me. He sounded really relaxed. So he was playing.
I can't see comments on there.
So he was like, man, yeah, you should move abroad, come to the Philippines. So after we get off the phone, sit down. Sit. After we got off the phone, I told Cara about it. So we thought about the Philippines.
Sit down.
Because, come on, sit down. We thought about the Philippines at first because of my friend, but looking into it, it was just too expensive to fly. My parents being older, I didn't want to sit down, Tip. I didn't want to go over there where I was like where the flights were too expensive, because I think it's like
it would have cost
18-hour flight.
Yeah.
And it would cost too much. The cost of living is good over there, but I'm hearing other stories as far as
please sit down.
Hold on for a second.
All right, so let me fill in the gap. while Dad puts the pet up. So, I thought you were going all the way downstairs.
No, he'll go south by himself.
So I like the idea of the Philippines, you guys. It is very cheap to live over there, big time. And that's, again, what we're looking for is to get more in line with our budget. So you were
okay. So there's a couple of things that I learned. Like, it's easier to move over there if you're married to another Filipino.
Which
or
he's
you
not.
have a
He's
Filipino
not.
spouse.
I think he might have thought about it for I'd say.
Right, maybe. And I have another friend who's in the security business who says really not safe over there for Americans, but he might be coming from a different perspective. But then I said, well, Carr got pissed off about me saying no, Philippines is out of the question. So then
because you brought it up and then you were like, I don't want to, it's too far. So you got me all excited.
Listen, I'm not excited about this move at all. Just not really excited. I hate moving.
Can you stop it? Or you're
I
going to
hate
go
it
with the dog.
with a passion. On top of that, I don't want to move because I feel at home here. Growing up in a place where you never felt at home, where you always wanted to leave, now coming to a place where we've been for 10 years, where I love being. For me, this is like a Black utopia, where you have successful Black people living around you. Of course, it's not a perfect neighborhood. No place is perfect, but I just love it here. But we can't stay here, so.
So I'm like definitely the most excited out of the four of us, followed by Zion, but not really. He just doesn't understand what we're doing at all. He's just happy to have a passport.
Nor does he care.
Nor does he care. That's what he's mainly excited about. So, all right. So anyway, after the situation happened with the Philippines, and I was like thinking about, when you tell me something, I'm on Google immediately. I started looking at the Philippines. I'm still following the Black Filipino on YouTube and watching his excursions, although he has a Filipino wife. And he got like some very name brand jeans for like $5 somewhere they went shopping. So I'm about that. I would have been gone a month ago. And so after the Philippines, and then we realized Asia was too small. Of course, we would love to go to the continent of Africa, but the struggle with Africa is there's a couple things. If you're going to be on the continent of Africa, you should be able to travel to as many countries as you want. So I really wanted to go to Botswana or Namibia. Hey, Danielle, if you're watching, she lived in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia for a long time. So we were supposed to connect and talk about that. But two things that blocked that decision. And one was you can't just fly quickly from one country to another country. There's some issues with the airspace. Like you want to visit one country, it's right next to another, but you have to fly all the way around. It's very expensive. So it's harder to travel within the continent, especially when you're on a limited budget like we are. And then of course the flights. So if we got there and then we don't like it, we've spent $10,000 just flying there and only to come back here. So that was off the table. And then I think you brought up Panama.
I brought up Peru.
He talked about Peru a couple years ago. This is kind of his fault, y'all, because it's not like he never talked about not going international.
But Peru is not the safest place from what I heard to travel right now.
So he thought about Peru, and I have a former coworker whose mom owns a bed and breakfast there, and I think the website is secondhomeperu.com. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So we thought about Peru, and then that got us focused on South America. So number one, we are going to South America. South America is close to North America. I hope it's not dragging on the screen like it looks like it is to me. But anyway, South America is close to the U.S. It's inexpensive to fly there and very inexpensive to live there. And so after Peru was off the table, we started looking at Panama. But I think you brought Panama up.
No, you did. You brought Panama up.
I don't know where it came from, but we were really set to go to Panama. And
I said, it sounds hot.
So this is what happened. So at first, yes, he was interested. We were saying, yes, we're going to do Panama. But then I started following a Panama expats Facebook group. Let me tell you, Facebook groups can be like everything. So much information, so many connections you can make. So we went on I scrolled down through the list of members of Panama expats group until I saw a chocolate face, and then I messaged her just like that. And she turned out to be a fellow health nut, just like me, went vegan, told me that her and her husband are from South Carolina. They live in Panama. They live in a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house for $425 a month. And she is loving life. I started following her on Instagram, just verifying that she's a real person. So let me add that in. When you look people up on social media, there's nothing scary about it. You could meet somebody at Publix. But I tracked her social media, you know, not just brand new posts, but like 6 months ago, a year ago, she was posting salad and fruit from her, whatever. So it kind of proved to me that she was a real person. And so then she said to me, you know, what about, about Panama? And I was like, yeah, we're looking at it, whatever. But then she was like, it's in the 90s here, 365 days a year. It is, huh? And husband here, he cannot do the heat like that, which is probably why he'd be miserable in Africa. He'd be like, I love the people. I can't do the heat. So she said to us, you guys should look into our actual destination, which is, Zayla, do you want to say it? Why do you look like you're about to cry?
My baby's not.
I know, but she's been okay. She's been doing better. I don't know why, because we're doing this video.
Yeah.
But anyway, Zion, you know, he can't. MJ, just tell him where we're going.
So,
we're going to Mexico.
No, we're not going to Mexico. So, I'm going to give y'all a hint. Let me see. The first thing that comes to my mind is Sicario.
She just said it. It's called the City of Eternal Spring. That's one clue I would have dropped.
Okay. And I'm gonna say Sicario because I'm gonna hit it from that angle.
I don't even know what that is. And
Just Sicario.
Huh? Some people may know what Sicario. Let me see. Who knows what Sicario is?
Well, I tell you what. I'm gonna jump right to the part that most of you guys are gonna be freaked out and paranoid about. They're waiting, MJ. They're like, please, this is taking forever. Right?
Okay, I want to see if somebody's gonna guess.
I don't think
Nobody's gonna guess.
Dan said, Jay, it's your fault.
Who said that?
Dana, I can't scroll up on these comments. I hope I didn't miss any questions because I can't see.
No, Dana, it's not. Yes, it's kind of my fault. But anyway, so since nobody is interested in even answering the question, we're going to Colombia, Medellin.
We're going to Medellin, Colombia. I'm going to type it in here. Medellin. We think it's Medellin.
Pablo Escobar's hometown, his place of birth and death.
Yeah, so, wow, can you see scroll up on comments?
Yeah, I'm scrolling up.
I can't go up any further than this.
The video cannot play.
What video?
That's what it just said.
Okay. No, not Venezuela. So Venezuela is actually not really stable right now. They have the leadership in charge there is like robbing the resources from the people. So give me my iPad.
Go downstairs too. Go inside.
Give me my iPad. They're robbing resources from people there, so it's not really the best place to be right now. And which is unfortunate because I really did want to be able to visit other places.
No, Bianca is not. Medellin's climate is between
70 and 80 degrees.
60 something at night to 80 degrees during the day. So, and that's 365 days a year. Yeah,
the temperature is always great. So how we found Medellin was when I was talking to the, let me turn my volume down here. When I was talking to,
Steve said he got pulled off the plane.
Oh, really?
Every time.
When I was talking to the woman from Panama, she said her and her husband, she was like, you really should consider going to Medellin, Colombia. She said, because they have a perfect climate, they have a great infrastructure, the Wi-Fi is much better since you're an online health coach, and that's really where you should go. And so after she said that, then I started looking it up like crazy. There's a YouTube channel called Escape to Medellin, And again, it's MEDELLIN. And then there is the Black Expats, or Young Black Expats on YouTube. Have a lot of, they've done a lot of international travel. They've inspired a lot of people to do the same thing. And they stayed in Medellin for a while, and they have videos of their time there and what they did. And so the more we watched all of that, and then I joined a Medellin expats group and made a lot of connections in there. I joined a Medellin Moms International group, and I've met women over there. I already have like play dates set up with moms that have kids the same age. I even met a mom that has a 7-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 24-year-old. Her oldest daughter is not there either, but yes. So Karen, no, there's not. You know, we definitely did. So let's just dig right into the drug stuff right now.
Yes, there's still cartel over there, but it's not as big. They kicked a lot of the cartel out.
Please put this away.
The days of the Medellin cartel, the Cali cartel, they pretty much killed all of them off and sent them away. I think El Chapo was from there, but they kicked him out. But he's in jail right now. So all of the cartels basically right now, the majority of them, I think, are in Mexico. And there's probably more cartel here in America, believe it or not, than over there in Colombia right now.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you guys, for those of you who are worried and concerned, please don't message us or inbox us. I'm saying that as nicely as I can. We've been researching like crazy. There's no way, unless you actually live there and your cousin just told you something today, no. You don't have more information than we have right now.
Shan says Zay was looking like, Sean said Zay was looking like bro.
Yeah, so let me finish this part, because this is a issue. A lot of people have had concerns about this. If all you have to do is do some Googling. So people are talking about Pablo and drugs, not realizing that was actually 20 years ago, okay? It's been a long time. The city has worked very hard to change over their image. Yeah, it's been 20 years since he died.
Yeah, but after him came the Cali cartel. They didn't kill the Cali cartel off until 2001.
Well, it's been a while. They've been stable for a long time, and at this point, statistically, you are safer in Medellin, Colombia, than in St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, and New Orleans. That's the real. So we have to take the same precautions we would in any big city. Don't leave your purse hanging out. Don't flash, your stuff. There might be poor people around who see you got an iPhone and want to take it and sell it. But are people getting shot in the street? I mean, it's not any different than living here. One of the things so basically a lot of things that have been pointing us in this direction, besides just the people we met. And two of the other big things are, after we kind of said, okay, this is where we feel like, we're being led in this direction, I found out completely accidentally that a friend of mine who's also into health like me is already living there. She sold everything in her house, put her stuff in a trailer, a dumpster, and left with her 3 children as a single parent. So I was floored. She actually went apartment hunting for us last week and checked out an apartment for us and sent us some videos of what it looks like and everything. And then, in addition to her, our home inspector who came on Monday, he's Latin American, and he was telling us about Latin America and how the culture. His insight was so helpful, y'all. First of all, he said it's fine, it's safe. It's like any other city. There's certain places you should not go at daytime. There's certain places you shouldn't go at night. I mean, in Atlanta, don't go down Forsyth Street, Greyhound. You shouldn't be down there late at night. It's not a safe area. You definitely shouldn't be out walking around. So same would apply there. One of the things that he said that really stuck out to us is that in terms of the culture differences, they are very community oriented and family oriented. And if they invite you to go out for coffee, you should go have a coffee. People will invite you over for lunch. You should go have lunch, but you should also extend an invitation. I'm loving that part, because we never get invited anywhere here. So I'm like, yes, we could have people over, and what? They would actually invite us back? All right. So, okay, Bianca said, what will you all do for a living? That's a great question, and that's the #1 question people have.
We'll let you know when that comes up.
Yeah, now there's a little faith involved on that, but my business, CaraAshburn.com, by the way, is 100% online already. All of my coaching is done online, and I will be able to transition seamlessly there. That's why I had to be somewhere where I had really great Wi-Fi, just to make sure that I had good infrastructure. So not really worried about that. The cost of living, you guys, is like 60 to 70% lower. So I do want to make sure we touch on the economics. I'm doing most of the talking because I've been doing most of the researching. MJ has been doing research based on safety and security and talking to people more so from that perspective. And then he is in charge of the actual budget. So yeah, so the cost of living. All right, so just as an example, and they're getting tired now, the groceries, 60% cheaper. So here, you might pay $4 for a package of red bell peppers. Over there, red bell peppers are like 10 cents each. A tomato, 11 cents each, okay? Not expensive at all. Fruit galore everywhere, dirt cheap, all kinds of fruit. The lodging, accommodations and food tends to be, for most families, your biggest expenses. You can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with all utilities included. In Medellin, most people live in high rises or apartment buildings are like the houses. Look at this boy. You can get all of that for under $1,000, you guys. And I mean way under. Like, you can find a 3-bedroom for $700 that includes all your utilities, cable, Wi-Fi. It has a pool on site. Every place I've looked at, there's a pool, there's a gym. You can walk to the grocery store. We can walk 2 blocks and go to the grocery store or walk to a restaurant. They have a metro system there that is superior to the one here in Atlanta. Now, that city itself is about 3/4 the size of Atlanta. So it's not a small city. But
real quick.
Yeah.
At least we're moving to
Medellin,
Colombia.
Yeah, okay, so Isaiah asked about the visa process. All right, so yeah, so that's the cost of living, okay? And I'm gonna be sharing, now that we've announced this, some links to different Airbnbs and apartments and stuff, just so you guys can see. Again, I'm not trying to talk anybody into moving where we're moving. We are trying to move to get involved with the locals, not to just recreate the same thing we had here, but just because, you know, to consider, if your circumstances allow it, doing something international for a while. We can always come back here at some point. I could go back to corporate America if I had to and make another 6 figures. But while we have this gap, and why not take the lemons that we're dealing with right now and turn it into lemonade and do something very different? So the visa process, you can go, I didn't hear what she said, but I don't want to. You can go for 90 days with no visa, okay? You don't need a visa for the first 90 days. To stay longer than that, though, you do need to apply for a visa for your second 90 days. That's how that works. And you can stay up to 180 days in any calendar year, okay? And that's on a tourist visa. You could apply for a student visa. You could take classes. There's different things you could do to be able to extend your stay. But to be able to, just to be able to go, you know, if you go 6 months in a calendar year. So, for example, we could leave and go 6 months this year, come back to the States in January, and then we could go back there and stay another 6 months in 2019. So I should add, though, that we are we're not ourselves to be there. So we have a YouTube channel and all this stuff, but if we get over there and we don't like it, we'll just bounce, you know. Or if some amazing opportunity happens in the U.S., then we would just come back, right? So we're not committing ourselves to anything. We're just going on an adventure, and we're going to basically see what happens. So are the people English speaking? Ethel, no, they're actually not. No, Terry, we already talked on safety. We're not going back over that again because we've heard too much from people who are not doing any recent research. So
what happened?
You ever heard of the Medellin cartel?
Yes, the Medellin cartel is done. I'm pretty sure they got, again, they have cartels there.
They're still using drugs. They're selling drugs in our subdivision.
But
I mean,
no, they're not.
Well, they were.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
The well was marijuana.
Okay, let's go elsewhere. Anyway,
I'm saying there
is cartel there, but there's cartel here in America. They have kill squads here in America. there's no running from drug cartels. There's no running from crime. It's not the same place during the Pablo Escobar days, nor during the Cali cartel days, nor now they do have FARC there, but they have FARC on the Colombian-Panama border. And no one is permitted to go up there. There's no roads that go up there. It's secluded. It's probably about 3 to 5 hours away from Medellin to get there. And the army has pretty much suppressed and killed all of them off. But the main thing that we have to worry about is the same thing we have to worry about here is petty crime. You got to worry about that here. So it's like you can't base the knowledge that we have about the cartels based on how it was during the Pablo Escobar days. Those days are over. They are more focused on bringing in the income, just like every other city. And they're going to push. I think they're probably a little bit more not so lenient with the criminals there as they are in America, but that's just, I'm just guessing. But there's dangerous, every place we go is dangerous. I mean, there's Los Zetas cartel in Gwinnett County. There's big time cartels here in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think
that a lot of people don't know about. If you stay to
yourself, you mind your business and you don't flash.
And, right, MS-13 is here in Atlanta. You can't be like, oh my gosh, because that's how I was in the beginning. Because I actually talked to a police officer. In fact, he's a Gwinnett police officer that works at, the Cat Farmers Market. And he was just working an extra job. And he was actually in the army, Colombian army, during the Pablo Escobar era. And he told me and gave me a whole rundown. He said, yeah, the city is pretty good now. It's safe because they want their tourist money, but going on the outskirts is a little bit more dangerous. But heck, that's like going to North Georgia.
It's kind of dangerous for Black people right now, too. I'm just saying. All right. Somebody said, Rachel, so you have family there. That's great. So you should definitely message me about that if you want. It's a beautiful country, you guys. It's so beautiful, and we are super excited about that. So Bianca, get us an HGTV Connect, girl. That's my dream. HGTV
you're always welcome.
All of you guys are always welcome. Now you can't stay with us because we're gonna be in a small 3-bedroom apartment. But Airbnbs are dirt cheap. I know some of you guys are gonna go to Airbnb and type in Medellin. Don't go too far, Zayla, because it's not letting me scroll back up. Thank you.
It's freezing up.
Yes.
It kicked me
so
off.
Don't do that. Okay, so flights. All right, so one thing that was good about this is that the flights are maybe 500 round trip, sometimes even cheaper if you do JetBlue. You can get very cheap if you do Spirit, but you know how you work with Spirit, so that would be on you. But that's one of the other reasons we chose it, is so that it will be easy for us to come back and visit. My mother is already planning to come for Christmas. Christmas is really big over there and beautiful. Her and my other daughter are going to come in August. There's a big flower festival that happens there every year. Airbnb could be as low as $25 a night. $25, you guys, and you could be in an Airbnb with some of your friends. So even if you pay $500 for the flight, your food is dirt cheap. All the touristy, and not just touristy, but nature stuff, the botanical garden, like all the attractions are under $10 a person. Just dirt. For us we could go somewhere for $20. $20 to get in somewhere, and then a full meal might be $20. So we might spend $40, not including transportation. Maybe transportation is another $5, because taxis on average is like $5 to go from one side of the city to the other side of the city, $5. All right, so now we're looking at $45 for us to go do something for the day, including food. We can't do that in Lithonia.
Sean, no, guns are illegal over there. They're banned unless you police. It's definitely not for gringos to bring guns over there or anybody else. So I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna miss my guns because I love my guns. But
he might be okay with this. So
I'll be fine.
So, Elise, we're going to Medellin. I almost blocked you, Elise, accidentally. We're going to Medellin, Colombia, and it's spelled Medellin. Rita is correct. We'll be fine there, and our audience will increase because the availability of different foods. Yes, so if you want to go ahead, too, and follow Coach K's, Coach Cara on YouTube, I will be sharing all of my foodie experiences as I do the grocery stores and stuff like that. I will be finding a kind of an undercover way to film different things that I'm doing and things like that in a way that still, you know, is not flashy. That's definitely the goal. And just to give people more culture exposure, my Rebirth Sisters already want to do a retreat there next year. So maybe the Lord will open doors and I'll be able to do retreats over there. Sean, take your hate and go somewhere else. You don't want to see none of our new food. You know you're going to see it. It's going to be all up and down your news feed. Okay. But we're going to be eating out a lot. I'm going to tell you all that. I'm going to just prepare you guys for that right away. I have already been to happycow.net and TripAdvisor and found all the vegan spots. Believe it or not, there's vegan food there. It is a heavy meat and starch country, but there are vegan restaurants there and health food options. I just looked at an apartment just now that is in walking distance to some of that stuff, and I'm waiting to see if she will negotiate on the price for that. And what is the income there? How does that compare? Joyanne, most expats are either retired or they have an online business. Although there are some expats, like because my husband's into woodworking and stuff, I wasn't looking for it directly, but I just met a woman. Her and her husband make jewelry and stuff like that. They vend, they're artisans. But because the cost of living is low, you don't need to make 6 figures to live well over there. Okay. I told her how much a flight was. Yes, Guatemala is something I'd be interested in. Guatemala, Nicaragua, I would love to visit. Ecuador, but I don't feel like we would feel as comfortable staying in those countries for a long period of time as we would in Medellin. Okay, Steve said, the big question you have to look at is what will you do if you return to the U.S.? You won't have any U.S. taxes or Social Security building over the time you're gone. You'll make a big hit on retirement if time should last too long. You are so right, Steve, but here's the problem. I'm just going to be 100 with you. My retirement is already spent from leaving my job. I've actually lost my retirement twice now because of the layoff I had in 2013. And it depends on how long we're gone, so it may not even end up mattering. What? It may not even end up mattering. So will you do missionary work? Oh, Isaiah, aren't you sweet? Yes, through health reform. That's it. We're not actually going to be like call porters out in the villages.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to purposely do it.
Yeah, but Isaiah, to your point, I've already located the Seventh-day Adventist churches there, and we will be visiting them as a family. Even though we won't understand any of this, what they're talking about, I think it's good to have that connection. That'll help us meet locals that will be able to tell us where things are. One of the best things about technology is that now you can use an app called Google Translate, and with Google Translate, we can talk to people. We'll be able to hear what they're saying, and then they'll tell us what they said, and we can hold it up and tell them what we're saying. Zayla, why don't you talk just a little bit so you can go, and we'll let you go. How are you feeling about this? Just be honest, because it's already written all over your face. Say the rest of it, MJ. You don't have to say a word? Huh? I would like to go first.
You can't finish it now.
Say something to the people first. Go.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'll be making a cash app to help myself.
Zion, be quiet. They can't hear you, Zayla.
I will be making a cash app. That's all I'm going to say.
For what?
To help myself through this terrible time.
This terrible time. Azalea is an Instagram guru, so she'll be running our Instagram page, and she's also going to be starting her own business doing Instagram for other people, helping grow your Instagram accounts. She'll be charging a very low monthly retainer. So if you are a small business owner and you're trying to grow your Instagram presence, you're going to want to reach out to her. She'll be homeschooling in the fall, so she'll be flexing her own schedule, and she's going to be using the money that she makes from her business to line her pockets with pesos so she can buy as much food as she wants, because that's really all she's about.
Joyanne, I'll take you up on that offer. But yeah, my family's keeping my stuff for me.
Oh, Jordan's like, let me hold the weapons.
Yeah, but I have extra. If you need something, always got extras. But you know. But anyway.
Yeah, Bianca, honestly though, years ago, this was before our house fire, there was somebody selling marijuana like one block over. They were putting flyers out about it, and they were like, nope, shut that down. But it was years ago. It was before the fire. It was like 2010. And they were like, if you see this car. My point was, it's everywhere. That's all I was saying. I think if we go on down here to Western Chapel, we could find some crack.
Right.
Okay, Ethel, you're right. You know, this is the Lord's doing. My family may not even fully see that yet, but I know it. I've been open. If a door opened for us to stay, you know, then that's what we would do. But I don't want to live here and be on the edge of poverty. And while I'm trying to build a business and my husband has career goals, it's just not feasible for us right now to do it without a real serious struggle.
And shout out to my.
Honestly, I don't have to go anywhere. If any of you all are willing to adopt me, that would be fantastic. I don't want to go. I am in the middle of high school. It's no point in me moving and doing stupid homeschooling. So if any of you would love to take me, I would gladly go with you.
Okay, so she says that, but she has actually embraced this a lot more.
They said no, thank you.
Yeah, they said no. They've been watching your countenance this whole time. So she will be fine once she settles and makes some friends and sees some attractive, you know, young Colombian boys who are bilingual. She'll be all right. But she says that anyway. Yeah, I know, Dana, but luckily the buyer is not on social media at all. So,
Asetta, you over there too, aren't you? So I don't think that will work for her.
So, do any of you speak Spanish? Un poquito de español. But we are working on it every day. Zion is probably going to learn it faster than all of us because he's been working on it the most. He's only allowed to watch Spanish videos while he's eating dinner every day. So he's been watching a little bit there. No, what? I'm not crucifying it, Terry. Medellin. That's how you pronounce it. It's not Ying. The Latin American guy is not in Colombia. Double L's are pronounced J, so it's Jing. I did double check that. Medellin. Okay, please be quiet. All right, let me see if there's any other questions before we close. Yes, it's definitely about. Would you all stop talking while we're in the middle of the videos?
Put it up.
Just wait. Okay, so you need to wait. All right, so yes, somebody concerned about the safety in another country. I mean, 4 people just got killed at Waffle House in Tennessee, so I don't really have anything else to say about that.
I get why people are concerned.
I get why people are concerned, but I'm just saying don't inbox me concerned about my safety because we've already verified everything and we already are undergoing a lot of change. If you're that concerned, you should just pray for us. That would be great. That's all you have to do. You could just do that instead. You're going to be on the couch. You know what? You can share a bed with Zion. Every now and then he still pees in the bed. But y'all are welcome to do that if you want to. All right, so let me see here. Any other questions before we close? So the education, so yes, they will be homeschooling in the fall. Again, this is if we decide to stay through the fall. And they'll be using online curriculum. I have a lot, Zion, go upstairs right now. I have a lot of friends who homeschool their children, and I'll be looking to them for resources and information on that. That's all I'll say about that. We'll do another video sometime talking about all that. So yes, we will learn Spanish. I'm looking into an immersion program for us to take this summer because then you get it better. You're immersed in it throughout the whole time, and I think we'll pick it up much better than somebody just coming and tutoring us, even though you can do that for cheap too. And then the other thing, yes, Richard's daughter, you're right. Retreats, my business is gonna explode, you guys. I really firmly believe that. And then I need time to practice my own self-care. Like the stress of this house and these finances has really set me back. I have not been eating like I should. I put on a few pounds. Like that's totally unacceptable. So that's going to be a big mission of mine is getting myself back together. Hey, Asada, if you're still there. All right, I'm just going through to make sure there's any more questions. You guys are like, y'all retired 5 minutes in. Anyway, I'm the only camera person, as you all can see. I can sit here for another 30 minutes. You can see Asada's comment. That's my homegirl that's already over there. and has been giving us a ton of stuff. Jamie, I'll share more information on the cost of living, but let me just tell you, it's dirt cheap. All right, we're going to Medellin, Colombia. We are leaving. Thank you, Dana. This is a great question to end on. So we are leaving by the second week in June. The last thing I'll say about us leaving is that we do not have time to drive around Atlanta and visit people, unfortunately. If I pan this camera, you will see how much stuff needs to be done in this house. So we can't do that. I'm meeting up with friends whenever I'm out and about and I have time, but we don't have time to visit anybody other than my mama, because she's 5 minutes away. So if you live in Atlanta and you love us and you want to come say goodbye, we're here most of the time. Feel free to send a message or something and roll on through. If you want to come by and, you know, buy something, all the better, because we are not moving here because we're rich. So we are selling most of what we have to be able to put up as much of a nest egg as we possibly can, so that we have that money to live on. Okay? All right, so thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Make sure you Google it, information. I'm going to be flooding your newsfeed now that we've announced it. We're waiting on somebody to tell their mama where we were going. And now that that's happened, we're telling everybody else, okay?
She's telling y'all, but I'm not telling anybody on my end until I get there.
Yeah, as usual. So, so anyway, thank you guys for watching the video, and this will be on our YouTube channel, Ashburn Family Chronicles, after he gets a chance to edit out some of the shenanigans. Yes, the infrastructure is great though, Joyanne. That's what you guys will see. The metro, everything, great Wi-Fi, whatever. So,
and then that's something we'll test out for ourselves.
Yeah, so if we fact versus fiction is definitely going to be, we're going to give you the truth. If we get there and it's like, wow, this is nothing like what we read on the internet, we're just going to be honest about it and come back and tell everybody, so that you can make your own decisions. Because it's a great place to vacation, you know, to just take a trip and go somewhere different. And Colombia has some beach destinations too. Not all of them are equally safe, though. I will tell you that based on what I've read, just in terms of the petty crime. When I talk about safety, I'm mainly talking about petty crime. You may be more likely for certain things to happen if you're in a more, you know, like he said, rural area, and you're a foreigner and they can tell. I will tell you that I think brown people do a little better in South America, and I heard that from someone there on the ground who's lived there for a very long time. There are a lot of Afro-Colombians, so if we learn the language, we're going to blend in pretty well. Versus other gringos, and gringos is the name for anybody who's not from there. All right, so that's it. I don't see any other questions. I'm glad you guys tuned in. You'll see more from us. I'm gonna start sharing videos about us packing and getting the house ready and stuff. That's gonna give me some accountability to get the rest of this stuff done. Make sure you pack a first aid kit. He has one that he keeps on the wall. Here, I'm sure we'll be taking that, so we'll have that there as well. He's a nut about all that kind of stuff, so thankfully I don't have to worry about that. Dana, you should pack your crap and move. Your son's almost grown. Some of you guys, you think you have all these barriers. Your barrier is your mind. Like, once you free your mind, the rest really will follow. It's really true. That's it. Some of you guys are single. You don't have any children. You could teach English as a second language and go live in another country. You can always come back. But you can't get back regret. That's one thing you can't get back. So I think MJ.
Neil Jr., I'm gonna need your help next week, cuz give me a holler.
Oh, he waited to be on live and say, "Oh yeah, family in Venezuela, not Colombia." Okay, all right, but yeah. So anyway, also anybody wants to come and help pack, I'm not really asking friends directly because I suck really bad at helping other people pack. I'm really bad, but I won't be mad at you. I guess I meal or give you something around here for free, something. But I would be more than willing to do that. We don't have, well, we do have a lot. We have a lot of little stuff that's really adding up. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll give you more information as we get closer to our exit date. We are very excited. Okay, I'm very
She's very
excited.
excited. I'm not excited.
I'm very excited.
I miss my neighbors already.
He's got a whole boys club going on.
I miss my neighbors already. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. We'll come back and give an update. All right. Bye.